Cornet trilogy?
Oh, this looks like a fun Ken Loach film.
Told by Americans.
Time for the daily urine sample pickup.
If that milk was blue, it means Luke Skywalker lives there. A young Benny Hill.
Oh, they never should have remade Run Lola Run.
The music is mocking him, so we don't need to.
I can see why they have congestion pricing here. Is this film going to be as whimsical as the music is promising?
Ford Prefect.
Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner 2, The Running.
Well, you can tell about it, so I use my walking.
Is he maybe being chased by the Krays?
Yeah, it's Mr. Bean. Who plays the doorbell?
Here's your mail, Your Majesty. Oh,
That's where he keeps his stash.
my correspondence with 84 Charing Cross Road is paying off.
It's full of mail again. Harry Potter? That's the only two British people in it.
Oh, this is the most unfocused episode of Shining Time Station I've ever seen.
Train, symbolizing he's fucked. Hey, turn your crank to Frank.
I mean, British movies without Paddington hardly seem worth it.
There's a lot of padding in this movie.
Oh, quick, run past the Merry Pranksters bus.
And school is closed.
Yes. And before the and, what do we do?
It's.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Martin.
All right, David, sit down.
Wow, those strict British
Well, give me an
schoolmasters.
example of a list. Andrew,
Adrian
what about
Messenger?
you?
Eggs, milk, and flour.
Yes, that's right.
Work spelled.
Well, David, what happened to you this morning?
I'm afraid I overslept.
That is
See, I
one
went to
moist
London
boy.
yesterday with my sister, and I didn't get back till late last night.
Oh, that's interesting.
No, it isn't.
Especially as we've been studying life in the capital in the last few weeks. Well, let's see how observant you are. Tell the rest of the class what you saw in London.
A lot of birds on Carnaby Street.
I saw the House of Parliament, and I saw
Tommy Steele.
the Tower of London.
David, suppose you start at the beginning.
With the Romans?
Tell us how you got there and what you saw on the way.
Well, my older
This is the best
sister
part of the
Susan
story.
suggested that we went on a sightseeing tour of London.
Bye, darling. Have a lovely time.
Bye.
Wasn't this show on after Masterpiece Theater every Sunday?
Yep.
This was the first time we'd been allowed to go to London on our own. First, we had to catch a bus in the village,
Well, tell us why, David.
because we had to get to the nearest mainline station to catch a fast train to London.
Clarksville.
Dad had given us some money for fares, and some pocket money.
But we didn't buy any pockets. All aboard the stiff upper lip line.
1.5 to the station, please.
18 pence.
So he's telling this part of the story?
Kid really paints a picture.
Thank you.
If the bus went below 55 miles an hour, it would blow up. It was ever so stressful.
Do you think it's going to be sunny?
I don't know. What did they say on the radio this morning?
They said
Wheat
it
will
might
win
rain
the
later.
war. 1917 riff, Frank. Suck
They've
it.
just started harvesting.
Spice.
I've been here before, with Mum, when she does her shopping. Let's go through the market. It's great.
Okay, and we can buy some fruit for the journey.
It's not about the journey. It's about the food you buy for the journey. Oh, such erudite English bantering.
Those prices are foreign to me. I'm touching everything. I'm touching all your shit. Touch.
Susan was afraid we might miss the train.
The train now standing.
Yes, you have to be on time. The intercity trains don't stop for very long because they provide a fast service for people traveling long distances, especially businessmen.
Oh, shut up. I'm telling this story.
And there's a dining car for passengers who want a meal or refreshments on the way.
And be gently nauseated by the motion of the train.
Now go on, David. Tell us about the journey and what you saw.
Let me, jeez.
Well, we went past the new motorway. That goes to London, doesn't it?
Yes.
Awesome, you saw
Although
a
the railways
road.
provide a freight service, a lot of goods are transported by road.
We had a bet. Which was the quickest way to go? I told Susan the train could go over 100 miles an hour.
And we were going to die.
All right, if you're so clever, tell me what that is over there.
Cow. It's a cow.
A coal mine, of course.
It's a Pink Floyd cover.
Well, there are coal mines in the south of England, but most of them are in Wales, Scotland and the north.
Ah, the third world parts.
But what other industries did you notice?
There was a power station.
Is it a
And
power
then
station?
A bit further on, we passed the steelworks. At least I think it was. It had lots of pipes and things.
And this was the scenic route. Super Train on NBC this fall.
Yes, this is the suburbs. We'll soon be at Euston Station. Then we'll get an underground train to Piccadilly Circus.
And try to find Brian Jones.
Why is it called
Bet you wish you had
Euston?
something like this in New York, huh,
Is it
Frank?
London Station?
London's a big place. I think there are about 6 mainline stations. Here we are at Euston. We'll get the Victoria line to Green Park, and then we'll change
It's the
onto
circulatory
Piccadilly
system.
line for Piccadilly Circus.
It really escalates everything.
Mind you don't trip.
I'm tripping balls already, sis. I didn't know there was a British version of Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
The underground was great. We could have gone for miles and miles. But Susan said there wasn't time.
Is that a Doctor Who riff?
Then we came out of the subway. And we were in Piccadilly Circus. Why is it called a circus?
Because it's a round,
Like your
or
head.
circular place. That's what any circus is when you think about it.
But by all means, don't think about
Where
it.
did you go from Piccadilly Circus?
Clint Eastwood.
We caught a sightseeing bus. Susan and I sat upstairs, right at the front.
Oh, thank you. Now I have to pee.
Yeah, me too.
We saw the Tower of London. That's really an old castle. Then we crossed Tower Bridge.
I bet you don't know the name of the river.
Of course I do. It's the River Thames.
It's
I
at the
suppose
beginning
you
of
learned
all
that
those
at school.
PBS shows.
Anyone who watches Monty Python knows that.
Parliament.
And Funkadelic.
Are you going to see James Bond?
Where's Buckingham Palace then?
We're going there next.
I hope we see the changing of the guard.
How about the changing of the pants after all that fish and chips you just ate?
Why do I want a giant glass of gin?
What's the circumstance of all this pomp?
What's that flag?
I think it's called the Royal Standard.
Alito's
Very
wife flew it
slightly
upside down.
Oh, so you doxed the Queen.
So much great English rock, and they play this shit?
Where are we now?
Hold on, I'm looking it up on the map.
Holden?
Yes, here we are. This is called the Horse Guards Parade.
Much better than the Horse's Ass Guards Parade.
That's Queen Boadicea. She was killed fighting the Romans.
Sorry.
Come on. I'm hungry. Let's have our lunch.
I bet they eat potatoes.
Finally, the content I'm here for.
While we ate our sandwiches, we watched the boats on the river.
Those long, flat-bottomed boats you saw on the Thames are called barges.
Flat-bottom boats!
Are you in the boy's head now?
There are some quite big craft going up and down with cargoes, and further downstream where the
That's
river is
hauling
deeper,
pronto pups.
there are docks for ocean-going ships.
The liquid stuff in the river is called water. Oh, we're getting some delightful informational tidbits today.
What shall we do next? Let's go to Trafalgar Square and feed the pigeons.
Feed them to who?
I said feed them, not become their god. Now I know why the Pigeon Sisters come from England.
We went back to Piccadilly Circus again because we really hadn't seen it properly. Susan said it's a meeting place for people from all over the world.
All
They sit on
14 of
the
them.
steps underneath the statue of Eros.
Got freaky in a respectful British manner.
Out of work comic.
Well, Slash was hanging out.
These are all great grandparents now.
Excuse me, I'm a stranger here. Can you tell me the way to Buckingham Palace?
I'm not a pedo.
You go down there and turn left into Trafalgar Square. Then you find the man at the end of there.
Thanks very much.
Haha, they pranked him. He's going to end up at Sweeney Todd's barber shop.
Where did he come from?
I think he comes
Susan told me he came from Northumberland.
Where's that?
That's a county in the north of England. You find that people from different parts of the country speak with different accents.
Is that Terry Jones?
Londoners are known as Cockneys. They can be even more difficult to understand.
Like that Eliza Doolittle
There
bitch.
seem to be an awful lot of people in London who aren't English.
Well, don't forget the Irish, the Scots, and the Welsh.
Now let's
But
forget
apart
them.
from them, there are people from most of Britain's former colonies. Africa, India, Malaya, Hong Kong, and the West Indies.
All the places we colonized and
In some parts
oppressed.
of London, they have formed their own communities. You can walk the whole length of a street and hardly see an English face.
Thank you, Margaret Thatcher.
Just don't want to see any English teeth, if you don't mind.
Elvis?
Many of those who've settled here have set up small businesses.
But they look huge from this angle.
Did you go to the City of London? That's the oldest part, where London really began. It's also most typically English,
Yes, we got out at an underground station called Bank.
named after the Bank of England. You see, the city is the big business centre. You may have noticed how people dressed. You can even tell a man's job
From
by
the
his
Ministry of Normal Walks.
clothes. Stockbrokers, for instance, wear top hats.
Weirdos.
They also side gig as magicians. The TARDIS.
There was one funny thing I saw. There was a newspaper stand with nobody looking after it. People just came and helped themselves.
But I don't suppose you saw one person take a paper without paying for it.
That's right.
Or reading it.
They all put money in a tin.
The English are honest when they read dishonest Murdoch publications.
That's why there's no print media anymore.
Now carry on. What else did you do?
We went to see a carry-on
We
movie.
still had a bit of time before we caught our train.
So we had lard
Susan wanted
in a
to go and
cup.
hear the speakers in Hyde Park.
Trace and I had those exact ice cream cones when we were in England. True story.
Trying to persuade her to buy
Spike
what she
Milligan.
can't afford or what she doesn't really want. I am. What is this? Where do you come from, sir? You're an Englishman. You should be ashamed of yourself. What are you proud of in England as an
A
Englishman?
free exchange of ideas. That's why we rebelled against them.
I am going to start by insulting the English. When I finish with the English, I
Hate
go
to have
to
to
the
follow that
Americans.
guy.
From the Americans, the
Isn't that man rude?
Do you think there's going to be a fight?
The policemen don't seem to mind.
They haven't said what's all this then once.
To teach you people. The consumer.
Is everyone a Python character?
Always fast. And your name?
It was quite funny, really. People just seemed to say what they liked.
It's interesting you should comment on that, David.
The gentleman said to
I suppose other people would call it the Englishman's sense of fair play. The right to say what you want without being afraid.
British workers
Cancel them.
to come to Zambia.
I want to move to England in the
All about the
70s.
time, we had to hurry to catch the train.
We had to miss Benny Hill's set.
Now it's a musical.
It was very
The
late by the
clocks.
time we got home. That's why I overslept.
Never mind. I think we've all learned quite a lot from your visit. Now, for your homework, I want you all to write an essay on an exciting day out. That should be an easy one for you, David.
As yours is already on film.
Ironically, David's essay got an F and it ruined his academic career.
Potatoes.
Well, the music is drunk on British ale.